Jake heard the scraping again. 3 nights running, something moved in the corridor outside his apartment on Outpost Vega. 7. A dying station where questions weren't asked and answers weren't given. He'd learned to trust his instincts during 8 years in special operations, and those instincts screamed that whatever lurked outside wasn't a threat. It was desperate. He heated up the last of his ration packs, real protein and vegetables, the kind that cost extra. Then he opened his door just wide enough to set the steaming container on the rusted floor. He left the door cracked and waited in the shadows, pulse rifle within reach. 30 seconds passed. A hand emerged from the darkness, slender fingers with pale blue skin. The hand trembled as it grasped the container. Jake stepped back, letting whoever it was take the food. He heard frantic eating, then silence. The next sound was a body hitting the floor. Jake cursed and yanked the door open. A woman lay collapsed in the corridor, the empty container beside her. Her skin was the color of winter sky, her dark hair matted with grime and dried blood. She wore torn clothing that might have been a jumpsuit once. Her chest rose and fell in shallow gasps. No one else was around. This section of the station had maybe 4 occupied units out of 20. Jake made his choice in 2 seconds. He dragged her inside and sealed the door. She woke on his couch 6 hours later, eyes snapping open with pure terror. Jake sat across the room, hands visible and empty. Easy. You're safe here. Her eyes darted to the door, the windows calculating escape routes. I'm Nira, she whispered, her voice raw. They're coming for me. Jake leaned forward. Who? She pulled herself upright, wincing. The Talvek Syndicate. They've been hunting me for 2 weeks across 4 systems. Jake's blood went cold. He knew that name. Everyone in the outer sectors did. The Talvek Syndicate ran guns, drugs, and worse. Much worse. Why? Nira reached into her boot and pulled out a data chip. Because I stole this. Evidence of everything they've done. Trafficking. Experiments. They've been kidnapping entire families from low-tech worlds, using them for genetic testing. Her hands shook. My people. Dozens of species, all for profit. Jake stood and checked his door locks, then activated the security scanner he'd installed himself. If they're after you, they'll have people on this station.
Nira nodded.
Station security took payment 3 days ago. I've been hiding in the maintenance shafts, but I'm out of strength. She met his eyes. I just needed 1 meal to get strong enough to move on. I'll leave. I won't bring this to your door, Jake almost laughed. Too late for that. If they've got scanners running, they already know you're in this sector. They grabbed his rifle and tossed her a knife from his collection. Can you fight? Something changed in Nira's expression. I was a reconnaissance officer before they took me. I can fight. The door exploded inward before Jake could respond. 3 mercenaries rushed through, armed with plasma rifles. Jake dropped the first one with 2 shots to the chest, rolled behind his kitchen counter as return fire tore through his furniture. Nira moved like liquid shadow, diving low and slashing the second attacker's leg. The merc screamed and fell. Jake finished him with a headshot. The third mercenary grabbed Nira by the throat and slammed her against the wall. Jake couldn't get a clean shot. Nira drove the knife upward under the mercenary's arm, between armor plates, and twisted. The man dropped. She retrieved her plasma rifle and checked the charge. More will come. Lots more. Jake pulled up the floor panel near his bed and grabbed the gear he'd sworn he'd never use again. Military-grade body armor, ammunition, and breaching charges. The maintenance tunnels. I know every inch of this station. Nira stared at the equipment. You're not just some drifter. He sealed his armor. Now I'm the guy keeping you alive. Move. They dropped through the floor access and into the tunnels as boots thundered in the corridor above. The tunnels were tight, dark, and reeked of recycled air and leaking coolant. Jake led them deeper, using maintenance hatches and service shafts that most people forgot existed. Behind them, shouts echoed. The Syndicate had sent a full team. Jake stopped at a junction and activated his old military comm, encrypted and untraceable. Victor, 6, this is Ghost. 2, I need extraction. Static, then a familiar voice. Ghost 2, you've been dark for 3 years. What's the situation? Jake glanced at Nira. Civilian in danger. High-value intelligence. Talvek Syndicate on our position. Need a way off Vega. 7. Silence stretched, then negative on extraction. Station's locked down. But if you can reach the communications hub and transmit that data, Alliance ships are 6 hours out. They'll come for you. Jake closed the channel. We're going to the hub, Nira shook her head. That's across the entire station, through their kill zone. He checked his rifle. Then we'd better be faster than them. They move through the tunnels like ghosts, emerging only when necessary. Twice they encountered mercenary patrols. Twice they left bodies behind. Nira fought with controlled fury, every movement efficient and deadly. Jake provided cover and tactical direction, his training flooding back like muscle memory. They reached sub-level 3, 2 sections from the communications hub when the ambush hit. Plasma fire erupted from 3 directions. Jake threw Nira behind a bulkhead and returned fire, dropping 2 attackers. A third shot caught him in the side, burning through armor and flesh. He grunted and kept shooting. Nira grabbed his arm. "You're hit," he pushed her forward. "I'm still moving. Go." They fought through 2 more firefights before reaching the hub entrance. Jake's side screamed with every breath, blood soaking his underlayer. The communications hub door hung open and inside was chaos. Every console was smashed, wiring ripped out and sparking. Nira's face went pale. They destroyed it. Jake limped to the main terminal and pulled off the access panel. Not completely. The Ansible core is intact. They didn't have time to sabotage everything. He pulled tools from his belt and started connecting bypass circuits. His hands shook from blood loss, but years of military engineering training guided him. Nira took position at the door. Rifle ready. How long? Jake stripped wires with his teeth. 3 minutes if I'm lucky. 5 if I'm not. Footsteps echoed in the corridor. Heavy boots, lots of them. Nira opened fire, controlled bursts that forced the mercenaries to take cover. Woo! They returned fire, plasma bolts scorching the doorframe. Jake's vision blurred as he rerouted power through damaged circuits. 2 minutes. The terminal flickered to life. He slotted Nira's data chip and started the upload sequence. 30 seconds. Nira was down to her last charge pack, backing toward him as mercenaries pressed forward. 1 rushed the door and she shot him point blank, but 2 more followed. Jake drew his sidearm and fired one-handed while his other hand stayed on the console. The upload bar crawled forward. 70%. 80. A mercenary made it through and raised his weapon toward Nira. Jake shot him in the head, then collapsed against the console as pain overwhelmed him. Nira grabbed his rifle and held the doorway alone, her movements desperate but precise. 95%. The console beeped. Upload complete. The data scattered across every Alliance channel. Emergency protocols triggered, and distant ships altered course. Nira dropped beside Jake as he slumped to the floor. She pressed her hands against his wound, her face fierce. "Stay with me. They're coming. Help is coming." Jake managed a weak smile. "Did we get it out?" She nodded, tears streaking through the grime on her face. "It's broadcasting everywhere. Every crime, every victim, every location. The whole galaxy knows now." The firefight at the door suddenly ceased. Voices shouted commands to fall back. Through the static on the damaged speakers, a new voice crackled. "This is Alliance Battlecruiser Defiance. Vega 7, we are inbound with a full Marine complement. Talvec operatives, you are ordered to stand down and surrender." Jake closed his eyes, letting exhaustion take him. Nira kept pressure on his wound, refusing to let go. "You saved my life twice," she whispered. "First with a meal, then with everything else." He forced his eyes open one more time. Couldn't let them win. Alliance Marines stormed the station 20 minutes later, securing the hub and arresting every mercenary they found. Medical teams rushed to Jake and Nira, stabilizing his injuries and treating her malnutrition and scars. In the days that followed, Nira's data sparked the largest criminal investigation in Alliance history. Dozens of trafficking operations were shut down, hundreds of victims freed, and the Talvec syndicate's leadership was scattered or captured. Jake woke in a clean hospital bed 3 days later to find Nira sitting beside him, cleaned up and wearing fresh clothes. Her blue skin seemed brighter now, her eyes clear and determined. "The Alliance wants me to testify," she said. "It'll take months, maybe years. They're offering protection and a new identity after." Jake shifted, feeling the bandages across his ribs. And? She smiled, the first real smile he'd seen from her. I told them I need a bodyguard. Someone I trust. He smiled back. I might know a guy. Outside the medical bay window, Alliance ships maintained patrol around the station, ensuring no retaliation came. The galaxy had changed in 72 hours. One meal left outside a door, one choice to help a stranger. One human who refused to look away when it mattered. Nira took Jake's hand, and they watched the stars together, knowing the fight wasn't over but confident they'd face it side by side. Humanity had proven once again that when pushed, when tested, when someone needed help, they didn't calculate odds or measure risks, they just acted. And sometimes that made all the difference in the galaxy.